Since our other vehicle is so new, I'm actually thinking potentially marking that with some reflective decals. So that's kind of where we're at on that.
So
Sure.
Why wouldn't we move money from the car fund to the officer fund and use that to get have more money to get an officer? That would be my thought. I mean,
I love that thought.
I would rather move money from the car fund to the officer fund to give an officer and officers more money than to buy another car that I don't necessarily think we really need. But that's just my point of view.
We run into that, and of course, with Michelle not in here, she's the guru of the dollars.
True.
To get an officer under your theory is great. How long can we sustain that additional funding for that officer?
Well, 1 year of having an officer that is an officer that helps you out is better than not having that officer for a year at all. So if we can sustain that for a year, then I say, great, we have an officer for a year. If we can't, or maybe you take that money and you figure out how long can we entice an officer with this certain amount of money for how many years can we improve that officer's funds off of, what are you talking for a car, $36,000?
Yeah, around 36.
So what if you divide that into, huh?
Net 26, because you won't sell it the vehicle.
Huh?
So you'll net 26,000.
Right.
Okay, so say you give them an extra 10,000 a year, so now you've got, or an extra 13 a year, so now you've sustained that officer at least for 2 more years and hope that your circumstances improve in that 2 years. That's just my thought. I would rather see the officer than the car. And I'd rather use the money for that.
I'm not opposed. I like the fact getting some help. I really do. I'm not sure how that actually would work as far as within the budget that the.
Well, right, I understand that.
What I'm looking for, and I'm looking for the city itself, is find a person who wants to be here. And granted, you got to pay a person to be here.
That's my thinking.
No question.
Maybe that would help you out.
But yeah, I mean, you got to pay a person to get them to want to stay. And that's where we're at across the board right now. Is you got agencies that are offering $85,000 a year for a new person and a $30,000 or $20,000 or $10,000 bonus. I don't have that answer. I'd love to. Again, let's just go back to putting the car in the rotation so that we're keeping newer equipment, because one thing that officers do like is having equipment to work well. So
Doesn't help us out if we don't have an officer to work with.
I have a couple questions. Well, one's more of a statement. I think it's important to be visible as the cop here in Toledo. I think people want to see you out there, and especially because Brock Mueller is now in Napa Vine and people are not sure who you necessarily are, maybe, and especially old ladies.
that's because I came out at nighttime.
And so
Also,
I think it's pretty important to be visible. I think as soon as you buy a car, it instantly starts to decrease in value. You have a car that's new, we got last year. I don't know how much mileage it has on it.
7,635, yes.
It has decals. I see a check here for the police vehicle, but I don't see any more checks for like all the things you're gonna need
Yeah,
in a
that's an
police
upfit like we
vehicle.
did with all the other cars.
Right.
That's separate from, because the dealerships, when they upfit them into the police model, things almost double or triple depending on what they put on it.
So it'd be nice to have your wish list of all the things that, you could have, and just so that as budgets are doing their budgety things, that we can plan for, things. I don't know what that will be because we're still talking. So how much of that car stuff can be transferred to an SUV? I don't know either. I think that would be important to know. And then what additions would be needed on top of that would be good to know. And then would you be selling, which car would you be selling?
2009.
The 2009, okay. And not the, okay,
You had a 9, a 5, a 9, a 17, and the 21.
okay,
The
so,
17 is one John was driving, that's one Randy's using for doing all the follow-up work right now.
okay, all right.
Oh, then I have a question. So this is, so if we had another officer, Randy could use the 9, the new officer could use the 17,
Yeah, 17. think.
And
16 or 17.
you're in the 21.
Right.
So we have enough cars even,
Mhm.
right? And even if we get a car, we still have to put additional money into that car to outfit it, more
Right,
than likely,
regardless. Yep.
right?
Yeah.
And so off the top of your head, how much do you think about we put into the car that you're driving now after we paid the price of the car?
You're talking about fitting with all the emergency
Uh-huh,
equipment?
we're talking like another 10, another 20, another
We're
5.
somewhere between 5 and 7.
So if we're
Again,
looking
that's
at
off the top of my head.
at 26 for a car, we can add another 5, so 31.
No, actually 43.
Yeah, 41.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
All right,
There's
because of the $10,000.
and we're actually speaking a little bit out of school until we
Well, right,
talked to Michelle about the possibility. The only concern I have about converting the vehicle into salary is that when we are hiring new people, we cannot hire a new person for more money than what we paid existing person, because that will be extremely bad. So the whole salary thing, which we talked.
I totally get what you're saying. It just
And-
would be how you could. move
Yeah,
that money
how can
around
you
and
move
make
it around and
make
make
it
it so
better.
that we do have money to entice a new officer?
Yeah.
And it would
absolutely.
be at the expense of the ongoing initiative that we have, that we would take and upgrade our vehicles while they still have value. I'm not against that. I think that that's a council decision that we could make. What I do know though is that the only deadline we have is if we were going to buy a 2022. And of course, the 2021 that is available just today, it might not even be available, or it could be before we are able to discuss this thing further. But at this point in time, we have a spot in the budget to purchase a vehicle. We could discuss with Michelle whether or not monies can be moved around, and then the council can make a decision on the new vehicle. Obviously, if we want to continue the process of upgrading our vehicles, then we want to buy a vehicle, and we want to probably buy a vehicle before we're in the place where we have to wait a long time to buy a vehicle. That would be the only hesitation I would have, but we certainly aren't at a place tonight where we would be in agreement that it's time to buy another vehicle. So the matter could be tabled, and then I would suggest that it comes up on the next meeting, that we discuss the situation again, after we know, at least we know where we can think about when we talk to Michelle. So
So this is the amount of money that's in there reserved for a car, am I correct?
yes, that's correct.
And then you take away the, whatever we said it was, 41?
Yeah.
And we're still looking at $35,000 in that fund.
That's right. We have money in the fund. We have money in the budget. So we don't have a problem there.
But do you see what I'm saying? I'm
Absolutely.
thinking here, like, we have enough
Absolutely.
money to buy 2 cars in that fund.
Yeah.
And just because we've always done something doesn't mean we have to continue to do it
No, and I agree.
if it doesn't make
I
sense any
agree.
longer.
That's true.
Yeah.
But what I see is there's 2 things that's gonna happen. One, we're gonna, by keeping the old car here, it's gonna deteriorate in price. Okay, that's a fact. It's gonna go down.
Mhm.
2, the new one's price is gonna go up. Because 2 days, they're shutting off the order sheet for the new cars in 2 days. They're shutting it down. They will not take any more orders after 2 days.
Or the
So if we
22.
order one, it's gonna take a year to get it.
Mhm.
We might have an officer next week. I don't know, I don't have a crystal ball. All I'm saying is there's two things gonna happen. We're gonna lose value in the car we have, and we're gonna up the price on a new one. If we don't try to do something immediately, but that's up to you guys.
I am just hesitant to buy out of panic.
And I'm
Um,
looking at a budget that says we have enough money for 2 cars. Just,
Okay, I have some
Why are
food
we
for
holding on to all
thought
that
on
money?
the other side.
Okay.
I waited a year for my freezer. And they say inflation is going up, so those are other things to weigh.
well, we had just bought a new truck and we put money on a new vehicle. And we were told it could be 5 months, it could be 6 months. It's been a month and it's on its way. So I mean, you don't know.
No, absolutely.
You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't
Same
know.
thing with cars, same thing with personnel.
You don't know.
Yeah.
Right, you don't know. You have no way to know. So,
Here's why we're in this time frame right now, okay? Here's how it comes around. John would be standing here right now where I'm standing. And we'd be talking about it because we have 2 officers. And that was a cycle to pull through. John decided to leave. But that being said, that's why we're in this time frame. And we have a drop dead date on the 8th if we want to order 2022, a brand new
Yeah.
car from the factory.
but we can
That's our
order
drop dead date
21,
for that.
Mhm.
right? But we can still order 21 after that.
No,
We can't get a 21.
no, 21's already on the lot up north.
So we can still get a 21.
Right,
That's what I'm trying to get. I'm
Right.
just trying to make sure that even if we don't meet this Wednesday
That's right.
right,
doomsday deadline, we can still get a 21.
right, absolutely.
Okay,
In
thank you.
fact, I talked to him, he's got that one, Durango, and he's got some chargers up there. If we had to go to charger, that'd be fine. So that is not a drop dead date, unless he calls me up and says I sold the car. But that's business. So again, I totally agree, we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know.
I feel like I need more information before I say yes. I want to see what you have, what you need. Like, what's your dream car? I mean, it sounds like it looks like we got enough money in the budget that we could, make some things happen, but
I would like a Hellcat.
sad.
Yeah, it
I
doesn't
would
make
like to
see
see what Michelle has to say about, first of all,
Absolutely,
doing
yeah.
something with the money,
Absolutely.
because there's enough money there for 2 cars, the way I see this sitting, which means, maybe you could do, I mean, I would still like to see, can we move some money to help it, to get more
Right.
officers and pay the officers that we have? And then I would be willing to make a decision, but until I know that, I'm not
sure
in
how
that
that side
place.
of it works with the budget themselves.
Right, so that's like the whole thing for me. If,
Okay.
if we move money, then I'm all about that, but if we can't, then
And that's what I suggested, that
We're
we
stuck.
just table it until the next meeting, and at which point then ahead
I-
of time, Michelle would do
I agree.
You want to wait that long because the circumstances of the car might be eliminated?
Well, to be honest with you, I
Yes.
would rather do that than try to make a decision on
Okay.
a split council, to be honest with you.
Everybody in agreement with the table till next meeting, or you want to have a special meeting?
The next meeting will be fine.
Next meeting?
thank you.
Everybody agree with that?
Yes,
Okay, the motion to table this for next meeting, which is 2 weeks from today. Let's
sorry
take
about
that in the form of a motion, I guess. Ron, if you want a motion, or,
If we need a motion, I so move.
okay, I hear a second. Any more discussion? Sam, you got any other tidbits to add?
Just I'll check with the guy up north with the Guth cars.
Okay,
Well, one thing I didn't expect is to say, let's order 22 because we got to drop it dead.
Yeah.
That
So I'll
stinks.
check with them and see what else he's got there as far as how many chargers and stuff. And
well, I guess, like you just said, Sam, I think the 22 is out, because
Oh, yeah.
we're not gonna make that deadline in 2
yeah,
days.
and I'm fine with that. I mean, we ended up with a 15 and 16, and it worked out really well, and that's when we got $17,000 on resale when we sold it, so
Right,
that worked out really well. Offside car topic, I don't want to. I'm going to train
We
next
got,
week.
wait, we got a motion.
Yeah, motion on the table.
We got a motion on the
Oh,
table.
sorry.
All discussion's been done. All those in favor say aye, please.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, Sam, go ahead.
We gotta keep up with training all the time, 24 hours a year. I got some training I'm gonna go to next Thursday and Friday. Chief Rockville is gonna help cover while I'm gone. Up there, and then I'll, of course, I'm the sheriff's department to help if need be. What it is help to be certified to be a drone pilot, which we have that drone, and that'll help with our liability when we do that.
Okay,
Thank you, Sam.
Well,
thanks, Sam. Okay, dokie. Cross your fingers, Sam. Okay, that's all in the new business. Unfinished business is ordinance number 769. Ordinance number 769, an ordinance of the city of Toledo, Washington, allowing the operation of wheeled all-terrain vehicles as described in RCW 46.09 on city maintained streets and roads with posted speeds limits of 35 miles per hour or less. I'll entertain a motion to accept this ordinance, please.
I so move.
Do I hear a second?
A second that.
Is there any more discussion? Let's vote on it. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries. Okay, I have no more unfinished business, other business, public input. Any public input? Go ahead, Eric.
If y'all are gonna get a new car, I'd suggest, especially if you're thinking it's gonna sit semi-idle while we're waiting for another officer, I'd get the 2022 instead of another 2021, which is already depreciating on the books. So in 7 years from now or 5 years from now, it'll be that much newer. And the other thing is fear of missing out is a problem, so don't fall into that.
Say that last part again.
Fear of missing out is a thing, don't fall into that.
Well, if we have to order, we only got 2 days to order it.
Circumstances change all the time.
Yeah.
They may say hard and fast, no, you can't order it unless you order it 2 days. And then again, it may change.
That's true. That's very true.
And I think if you had a crystal ball, what's gonna happen in our world the next week, let alone in the next year, it would be wonderful, you know, still waiting to see whether the booster to the vaccine needs to have a booster to the booster. And so the fact of the matter is that to try to anything we decide today is at the very best is a good guess. So,
3 weeks to flatten the curve.
pardon?
3 weeks to flatten the curve.
Yeah,
I thought
right.
it was 2.
Whatever. The fact of the matter is,
Whether
the fact of the matter is that we do not know, the postal clerk came to my house today, made a special visit to drop off the stuff that my daughter and her husband purchased. And they brought 2 arms loads of junk to the door in a time when we have a supply chain shortage, right? And so I'm not really sure what we read, what we hear about what's available, what's not available, even makes sense anymore. And my son says you can't get PCV pipe to remodel a building in Chicago, and yet you go to supply yards here and they're packed to the gills. So to be honest with you, it's totally uncertain. So whether or not we could get a 2022 or not, right now, the answer is no. After Wednesday or whatever, but a month and a half from now, when we're ready and comfortable to make a decision, it might not be the issue. It might be the issue and that 2021 might be available, or we might look at a different vehicle. But the fact of the matter is that we have to adjust to the times as comfortable as we can. And the comfort level that I think as a council right now we have is to just make the decision a little bit, give it some time and answer the questions that are there. So.
Anything else? Okay, we have the big Santa Quad Parade Saturday. Hopefully Sam will be flying the drone up there to get some pictures of it. And he's got some fellow officers coming down to help escort the parade, which will be moving probably 2 miles an hour, but that's okay. We need escorts all around. Safety first, and we'll be lighting the tree. When they finish their rounds, they'll end up at the boat launch where we light the tree ceremony, and we'll send the quads back home. Hopefully we have a lot of people turn out. I've been hearing lots of good stuff,
It
so.
goes right by your house, doesn't it? Jim? Goes-
Jim, it's gonna go right by your house.
Yeah, I think it goes right around and by your house, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah,
so
think so too.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Get a
that's all I
present.
got. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Ron has.
Well, sorry, go ahead, Ron.
I heard about Santa Claus coming to town too, and I was down at the park, Jim and I, we keep the wall going off and cleaned up, and I looked over there and all those tables were back out again. And the
They-
question to you guys is who's putting them back in?
We are.
Oh, okay.
They'll be put
'Cause I
back,
know who's not.
they'll be put back in. We took them out for the Santa Claus ceremony and then we're gonna put them back in. They'll be undercover.
You need help down there moving them around. I'll help the day that.
Mike, you moved them out.
If they've got something to move them in, I'll help move them inside the building.
I can use all the help I can get. Yeah, believe just a little John Deere to pull them.
Just let me know what day and I'll go down and you get them to the building, just 2 people to pack, move them around.
How about tomorrow?
What?
How about tomorrow?
Okay,
Okay, about 10 o'clock.
I'll be at the park at 10.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
it
you.
very much.
Thank you. Eric?
Thank you,
I
Ron.
just remembered, I did go take a walk around the kitchen between the last meeting and this one, and I see a little bit of dry rot, but it is not actually that bad. So Michelle was afraid it was a huge problem, but I think it's very repairable.
Yes, and Mike's been on trying to get a hold of some log yards or pole yards. I thought the one in Boyceford helped us before, but he can't seem to get through. He's been trying for days and days with calls and leaving messages and got no response at all. Just trying to get some logs to fix those 2 rotten ones. We can't find any logs. He's also contacted a log home builder down in Kalama. They haven't got back to us. I guess they're on the same ships or out in the bay. I don't know where the logs are, but we're trying to get 2 new logs to put in down there. Mike's gonna put them in himself.
I haven't thought about that. Before you go, I might have thought about that log problem.
Okay,
Perfect.
we need all the help we can get. We need all the help we can get.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Do I hear a second?
A second.
Well, thank you, new member. It's been moved and second to adjourn. Everybody have a great night, and let's hope we see you this weekend at the quad parade and lighting ceremony.
Rain.
If it's not raining, it might be raining.